Hi, I'm Sara Incera, and in this video I'm gonna tell you about our latest publication in the Journal of College Reading and Learning. So this article is titled Critical Reading, What Do Faculty Think Students Should Do? And in this article we actually ask faculty members at a university what they think students should be doing when reading critically, right? So what do we mean by critical reading? Critical reading goes beyond simply decoding the text or just understanding the words, right? It is actively engaging with the text. So the idea here is that undergraduate students at universities need to go beyond just passively read and actively understand information, summarize information, think about the information, apply the information. So in this article, we compile a long list of all the things that undergraduate students could be doing, right? So we review all sorts of behaviors like previewing and reviewing and summarizing, elaborating information, synthesizing information, applying information, all of the different things that students could be doing. And we list them all in a survey. So these are 35 example behaviors. There are many more things that could be added to the list, but these we think are representative behaviors of what undergraduate students could be doing when reading the text, right? So we order them from the most simple ones, like from skimming, looking at figures, looking at tables, to the more complex one that could be solving problems, applying information in new ways, contrasting and integrating information. So once we had all of these critical reading behaviors, we listed them in a survey and we sent it to faculty, and we asked faculty members to tell us how useful they thought these behaviors were. So we use an analysis that is called factor analysis to group these different behaviors in what we call critical reading skills. So with this analysis, we saw that looking at figures, skimming the text, and looking at tables, these all loaded together or grouped together. And we call this skimming because that's kind of how it sounded to us. Then reading aloud, annotating, going back and forth, we call this reviewing. And as you can see, 5 key skills emerge from all of these behaviors. So we have skimming the text, reviewing the text, synthesizing the text, right? This is a little bit more complex. Here you have challenging the conclusions of the text, comparing different ideas from the text, contrasting opposite perspectives. That's the synthesizing piece. Then we also had questioning, right? Like asking questions about the text, and then applying. And applying will be the most complex probably of them all, which will be solving a new problem with the information from the text, using the information from the text in a new context. Okay. So once we had identified these 5 key skills for critical reading, we also ask faculty how useful, right? Like we evaluate how useful they consider each of them. So we noticed that skimming and reviewing was not considered very useful, synthesizing a little more, questioning a little more, and applying was considered the most useful. So a lot of faculty members really want their students to move from skimming and reviewing and apply this information in useful ways. Now, an important piece here is, do students know how to do that? Are faculty teaching these critical reading skills to their students? So what we saw here is that there is definitely a relationship in that whenever someone thinks that a critical reading skill is more useful, that critical reading skill is also taught more often in the classroom, right? So you can see how the trend goes up. Now, there is an interesting thing here that there is also times in which people think a critical reading skill is very useful, like all the way over here. People are thinking these critical reading skills are useful, but they are not taking time out of their classroom to teach them, right? So this is where there is some room maybe for interventions to help faculty teach some of these critical reading skills. And here you can also see the green, so questioning and applying, which are like the green ones all the way to the top. Questioning and applying are considered more useful and are taught more often, versus skimming and reviewing, the purples over here, not so much. So there is a difference on how faculty perceive these different critical reading skills and what they think students should be doing, right? So when we put it all together, it may be helpful to understand what faculty are thinking before we develop interventions to help faculty members teach critical reading to the undergraduate students. So understanding that application is important, and understanding that those who think a particular critical reading skill is useful are going to teach it more often in their classroom can help us develop campus-wide programs in which we can maximize how well faculty are teaching these critical reading skills, which will then help undergraduate students perform better in their classes and learn more and apply the information more efficiently. Okay, I hope you enjoy this brief summary of the article Critical Reading, What Do Faculty Think Students Should Do? And if you have any questions, please email me. Thank you. Bye.